We apologize for our earlier coverage of the so-called Madison race riots. Reports coming in now indicate the violence is neither racially motivated nor restricted to the greater Madison area. What is certain is that this seemingly unexplainable mass hysteria continues to spread throughout the heartland, with injuries reported to be in the thousands. We now go live to Catherine Lanphier at St. Augustine Memorial Hospital. Catherine?
David, the staff here says they haven't seen anything close to the sheer volume of casualties. Badly injured, very frightened people are pouring in, no exaggeration, by the hundreds. And we're told that most of the injuries are bites, not gunshot or stab wounds, as we were led to believe earlier. Just a few minutes ago, we spoke with one of the doctors that has been on call since this morning when the patients arrived.
We have seen cases of complete digit, finger extraction, deep throat laceration, even a large section of flesh thrown away as if by a rabid dog or wild animal.
We've been told by nurses there have been complications.
Almost all wounds have shown immediate infection. Many have went into toxic shock. One patient...
Have there been fatalities?
Excuse me, please. I'm sorry, I have to go.
I was coming home from work, and I saw this woman in the road, and she was moaning or something, so I went out to go see. I thought she got hit by a car or something like that, and I went to go reach out to help her, and she bit me in the arm, scratched up my face, and I just took off. And
doctors are still at a loss as to the reason behind these attacks, and the situation doesn't seem to be improving. The past few minutes, I've seen 4 ambulances and several cars pull up with victims seeking emergency care. Whatever's going on, it seems to be far from over. David?
Thank you, Catherine. Speculation seems to surround the origin of this phenomenon. And theories include an airborne plague, a toxic chemical spill, bioterrorism, and even a spaceborne virus. And viewers should be advised that there is no official explanation as of yet. Teams from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Center for Disease Control, and Office of Emergency Preparedness have been dispatched to Chicago, Madison, and the Twin Cities. While martial law has not been declared, the governors of all 3 states are encouraging citizens to remain calm and stay at home for the present. We've had no official response from the White House, but it can be confirmed that the president is considering returning from his fishing trip at Jackson Hole. More on the situation as it develops.
They're returning to life and attacking the living.
I'm not so sure what to believe, Doctor. All we get is what you people tell us. And it's hard enough to believe
It's fact.
It's
fact.
hard enough to believe without you coming in here. And
You're not running a talk show here, Mr. Berman. You can forget pitching an audience the moral bullshit they want to hear.
You're talking about a
The producer has just informed me that we have a 911 call. We will play those for you now.
911, please state the nature of the emergency.
Please help me. There's something wrong with my mom.
What's your name, sweetie?
Samantha?
Hi, Samantha. Can you tell me more about what's wrong?
My mom has been sick for the last couple of days. I think she has the flu.
Is your mom breathing?
Yes.
Okay, sweetie. I'm going to get a police officer and the ambulance there, okay?
Okay.
Can you tell me your address?
6991 Arklay Foothill Drive. I think I hear my mom getting out of bed.
Samantha, stay on the phone with me.
I have to go see.
Samantha? Hello? Samantha? Unit 26.
Unit 26, go ahead.
Be advised, possible medical emergency at 6991 Arklay Foothill Drive. Young girl at the residence complaining about something wrong with the mother.
Unit 26 copies, will be 1074 en route to location. Unit 26 arriving at location.
Copy. Be advised, the phone line is still active, no response.
Copy.
police. Anyone home? Hello? Hello, police?
Dispatch, this is Unit 26.
Go ahead, Unit 26.
EMS is going to be needed. I located the child. She appears to have been attacked by something or someone.
Unit 26, respond. Unit 26, respond.
The President wants to make it perfectly clear that this is not a case of bioterrorism. No such agents exist in the arsenal of any nation or known terrorist group. He also wants to stress the need for calm and the respect for law and order. The quicker people can get off the streets and into their homes, the quicker the appropriate federal and state agencies can reach these troubled areas. Although a further call-up of reservists is on the table, our current overseas military assets will remain in place to reassure our allies that this is a minor, containable situation that we expect to see fully resolved in 24 hours or less.
Again, that was Press Secretary William Kaplan with the first official statement from the White House a little over 30 minutes ago, stressing calm and what he assures us is a fully containable situation.
It's the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen. I must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
Everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself.
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded, unusual amount of radiation enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances?
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing. Will there be a reply for the later?
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon. Perhaps there will be a report, a later report.
We are doing everything possible to solve the problem.
Dr. Grimes, your entire staff, I know, has been working very hard to find some solution to these things that are happening. Do you have any answers for this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injury. In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move. The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains, government spokesmen warn that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, will come back to life to seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. Our news cameras have just...
It spreads faster than any disease in modern history.
Angry mobs roaming the city.
The human mouth is full of millions of germs, and most people don't practice good dental hygiene. So naturally, any bite is going to become infected, no matter from whom. These people don't have some sort of voodoo hoodoo disease.
Yes, but Dr. Collar, how...
Look, David, what you fail to realize is that most of these so-called experts are looking in the wrong direction. The problem is not chemical or biological, it's psychological. What we're witnessing here is the spontaneous combustion of a pent-up rage fueled by frustration over a pressurized society. It's the snapped postal worker on a national level.
Well, how can you explain that
Look, in my new book, USA Bomb.
Look, I'm sorry, we have to
this
cut
summer,
away right now. I'm just being
explain-
informed that both Istanbul and New Delhi are reporting sporadic outbreaks of violence, similar to those here at home. And clearly this is no longer an American... We're just getting a picture from our BBC correspondent. Over to Trevor Hanna in London. Trevor?
We're in Notting Hill, a part of London. Who knows if this report will ever be transmitted? Communication is at best limited. The city, it seems, is being overrun with man-eating creatures. And...
They're coming!
Run!
Like most stations, we're experiencing technical problems with our satellite connection.
CDC has quarantined the lower Midwestern region.
We now have word on the situation in New York. All bridges and tunnels to Manhattan are being destroyed, and a barrier of Coast Guard craft is taking up position around the island. We don't know, however, if this is to keep people from getting in or getting out. We should have footage from New York shortly.
Commitment, honesty, integrity, these are the core values that create the foundation for Umbrella. It's this foundation that will continue to build a brighter future for all of us.
State and local authorities are urging communities to form clean and sweep teams. We'll now go live to Monroeville, just outside of Pittsburgh, where one of these sweeps is currently underway.
Danny, come on! Put another round on that woman over there. She's a twitcher. She's a twitcher. We get these twitchers. We shoot them, they go down, they keep moving. We can't tell if they're dead or not. Head, dead. Man, we sure got a lot of them today. But you know what the bad part of all this is? I know some of these people. I know some of these people that we're putting down. Well, what are you gonna do? Has to be done. One of these guys was a real estate agent. He sold me my house. He was over there. I guess he's over there now. Anyway, that woman right there, I think I did her.
We have some startling information from Fran Parker, live at the Hammond County Medical Examiner's Office.
Fran, what I'm about to show you is one of the most horrific... Stand back, and I told you, please keep your distance. You can see how dangerous it is. No person has survived this disease. And I can assure you that every victim that has come into this hospital has turned out just like this. They have died on the table. What has happened though, is that they have actually come back from the dead.
So you're telling me this man has come back to life?
I know it sounds absolutely impossible, but what we're talking about here is reanimation, but of dead matter. Look at this one. I was given an autopsy too. During the whole autopsy, he never stopped moving. And I took out his heart and half his digestive tract. What I'm trying to tell you is...
Oh my God.
The dead are walking. That's all I can say.
Well, how are people supposed to protect themselves, Doctor?
This is the most contagious disease I've ever seen. What I would say, and I'm warning you, everybody, do not come in contact with any of these zombies.
And there you have it, David. The dead are alive, and there's no cure.
So they are dead.
Yes, in that the circulatory, respiratory, and other vital functions have terminated, these subjects are technically deceased. Please just let me get through this, and then I'll take questions. The infection is spread through direct fluidic contact. It must enter through the bloodstream through an open wound. Infection duration depends on the size of the wound and its proximity to a major blood vessel. Reanimation will occur no later than 1 to 5 minutes after the victim's primary life functions have expired. Once reanimation has occurred, the subject will respond with immediate homicidal aggression.
The city of Los Angeles is like a war zone. These creatures, these zombies or whatever the hell they are swarming the city. People are dying in the streets by the thousands. And the freeways, right now the freeways are hopelessly clogged. There is no way out of the city. We had to come up here into the Hollywood Hills just to find some refuge. I think we're safe for the moment, but I'm not going to stay long. Right now, the LAPD has pulled out of South Central Los Angeles entirely and is trying to form a defensive perimeter around Beverly Hills. But I don't know how they're going to stop these things. If you're hearing me, stay away from Los Angeles. The city is out of control. The city is lost. Avoid Los Angeles at all costs.
Hell is overflowing, and Satan is sending his dead to us. Why? Because you have sex out of wedlock. You kill unborn children. You have men on man relations, same-sex marriage. How do you think you're going to protect you? Well, friends, now, when there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk in.
Good afternoon, I'm Richard Newbury. Reports are coming in that yesterday's rioting in central London have now spread to large areas of the capital and parts of the southeast. These reports started late last night, and we are at the moment receiving unconfirmed reports that London has been sealed off by the military, who were mobilised 2 days ago. We now have this report from central London, which was recorded in the early hours of the morning.
It's quite unbelievable what's happening today. Mass hysteria has hit London. Riots have been happening all day. Nobody seems to know what the cause of the violence is, but it seems to have hit the entire capital. Emergency services are at full stretch, and riot police have engaged in dangerous street battles with violent mobs. Today the military was said to have been dispatched, but we have learnt that's not going to happen. They've sealed off most of London, as far as the M25 motorway. But we don't know why that's happened. People are scared. People are terrified.
We have since lost contact with our reporter, so we're unable to bring you a live feed. The Prime Minister has dismissed claims that violence reported on the continent is in some way linked to civil disorder in Britain, although it would seem we are in no way isolated in our reports of widespread rioting, which has been reported throughout Europe and Asia, where many governments have declared a national state of emergency and appealed for help from the international community. The cause and nature of the disease are unknown. We now go to our India correspondent live in New Delhi, where the situation is rapidly worsening. So what is happening there on the streets, Jason?
Well, yes, Richard, currently the disease is still unknown. We have reports of rapid infection followed by toxic shock soon after victims' hearts have stopped. However, these reports are largely unconfirmed. It also seems that mass hysteria and panic has turned into violence, causing mass riots, involving literally tens of thousands of people. We've also been told that victims of the disease have become very violent and also responsible for hundreds, if not thousands, of deaths. It is also said that they attack any humans that they come in contact with, even friends and family.
Do they know how the disease is spread yet?
No, unfortunately, we still have no solid evidence of how the disease has spread. Although anything at this point would be pure speculation, doctors, however, have been trying to examine victims in the quarantine, but this is proving to be difficult because they are not able to be sedated properly and they are very violent. Despite reports that victims have been dying within hours of contracting the virus.
Do you have any idea of the current number of victims in India? Have the Indian government released any of that information yet?
Well, yes, as you know, India has one of the biggest populations in the world, and this disease, we've actually been told this disease has spread across the Mumbai slums already, and there have been reported outbreaks at at least 5 other major cities. There's also current estimates by the government that indicates that there are 900,000 casualties in the last 24 hours.
So what warnings and help are the Indian government giving the people?
Well, the Indian government is urging people to stay calm and stay indoors. They've been told people not to go near any victims, only to go out in extreme emergency, and otherwise people to stay in their homes at all times. All foreign nationals have been told to return to their countries as soon as possible, and all inbound flights have been diverted away from Indian airspace.
Well, I'm afraid we're going to leave it there. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Richard.
We're joined in our studio now by Alec Charles, spokesman for the Ministry of Defence. Mr. Charles, thank you for joining us. Now, do you think the military's handling of the current crisis has been sufficient?
Yes, our response to the crisis has been swift. We've been working hard to bring the situation under control, and we're doing everything possible to contain the problem. I can confirm that a buffer zone has been set up around London to ensure the violence doesn't spread any further.
Yes, but Mr. Charles, the government has been heavily criticised for not redeploying military units stationed overseas here in the UK. These troops account for a large percentage of our military strength. In light of the worsening situation, will this option now be reconsidered?
Our forces overseas will remain exactly where they are. Our commitments haven't changed, and we've assured the international community that Britain will not be bringing her troops back home. This is a global problem, and our forces overseas are needed more than ever before. We're confident that here in Britain, we can restore law and order with our existing level of troops.
Well, surely, Mr. Charles, this can't be the case. Many people see the creation of this buffer zone as separating London and parts of the south of England a clear indication that the military have in fact lost control and that millions of people are being abandoned.
That is absolutely not the case. We've installed martial law across the whole of the south of England. There's a 24-hour curfew in place. People have to stay at home for their own safety's sake until this problem has passed.
Now, we've had unconfirmed reports that all military units and emergency service personnel currently operating south of this buffer zone have in fact been ordered to withdraw. Now, how can you possibly expect to maintain a curfew if any kind of law enforcement has been withdrawn from this area?
Gangs of rioters in their thousands are swarming through the streets of London at the moment. They're destroying buildings, they're attacking people indiscriminately. At the moment, we're in a strong position to stop the violence in its tracks. We've got the buffer zone in place, and that acts as a vacuum between the rioters and the rest of the country, enabling us to control and contain the violence, which is our highest priority.
It's widely thought that these riots actually began in London. Now, if this was the case, surely swift intervention by the military working in conjunction with the emergency services would have been enough to contain the situation and keep it limited to London. However, we now know that London has been cordoned off by the military and no attempt whatsoever is being made to intervene. And in fact, to restore law and order in the capital other than that already being made by London-based emergency services.
Before this widespread violence reached Britain, dozens of other countries affected with similar outbreaks of lawlessness and rioting, including the United States, decided to impose a national health hazard, and they attempted to quarantine the affected areas. Having information about this in advance of any rioting breaking out in this country, we decided, because of that, to proceed with caution when approaching the problem.
I'm sorry, Mr. Charles, I'm unsure exactly what it is you're saying. Are you trying to say to me that we're dealing with a breakdown of law and order, or is this in fact a pandemic?
We're not sure at the moment.
Okay, well, I think we'll have to end it there. Thank you for your time. I'm told we're now going live to our military correspondent.
I'm just outside the town of Sandy in Bedfordshire. Sandy has a population of about 12,000 people. About 4 hours ago, the army moved into the town, including the troop I'm currently attached to, in order to aid the police in this evacuation.
Well, what's happening there now? Has the evacuation been successful?
Well, as you can see, the town's directly behind me. The military have left the town and withdrawn to one of the outlying hills, so it appears as though the evacuation has been abandoned.
Well, do you know why? Are those gunshots we can hear in the background?
Yes, we've been hearing sporadic gunfire for the past 20 minutes, so it seems as though the pandemic has reached us here and the military are engaging those affected.
Victoria, do you think the military will be able to contain the situation?
Well, as I said earlier, the population here is 12,000. The military detachment assigned to the town was 50 or 60 soldiers, most of which we lost contact with at this stage, so it doesn't look good. We're now deep inside the buffer zone, which is a huge blow to the Army's efforts to stop the spread of the virus.
What's happening now?
I think some of the soldiers have just withdrawn from the town. Let's see if we can go and have a closer look. I think they're down here. We just need to get closer.
Victoria, can you hear me?
On me! On me! No! Oh, God. Oh, God.
Well, it appears we've lost contact with our military correspondent. We'll try and pick that one up again later just to see how the evacuation is getting on. We apologise for any technical difficulties. In the past hour, the Home Secretary has held an emergency press briefing at a secret location in order to clarify the government's stance on the continuing violence.
As you have been watching on today's emergency news broadcast, there has been widespread public disorder and rioting across large parts of the south of England. The situation appears to be a repetition of the civil disorder which has been widely reported across America, Asia, and many European countries in the last few days. The cause of this widespread violence is as yet unknown, but it's become apparent that some form of virus may be responsible. Reports from hospitals in the affected areas are so far reporting large increases in people being admitted with severe injuries attributed to the widespread violence and rioting, suggesting that whatever the cause of this breakdown in law and order, the risk to health from the virus is minimal. At this exact moment, a team of government scientists are on their way to the affected areas to carry out further investigations into the causes and origin of the outbreaks. In order to contain the escalating situation and maintain law and order, we have declared a national state of emergency, implemented martial law in a number of areas, and introduced a curfew effective from 7 p.m. tonight. We urge members of the public to comply with these measures for their own safety and to assist the emergency services with the aid of the military to control the situation. We would like to reassure the public that this is a short-term measure which will be revoked as soon as the situation stabilizes. Details of all areas will be shown following this statement. If you are in one of the worst affected areas and concerned for your own safety, we have set up emergency evacuation centres under the control of the armed forces. Details of these centres will also be shown after this statement. I'm sorry.
We have been issued by the government a map detailing all affected areas and a comprehensive list of all evacuation centres for those areas where the military are attempting to evacuate people. These will be displayed shortly, and viewers should look out for their area if they reside in the southeast. We'll shortly be going live to a press conference by the Centre for Medical... We now go to an emergency press conference by the Centre for Medical Disease Control.
It was announced earlier today that government scientists have been dispatched to affected areas to conduct further tests. Once again, we urge members of the public in affected areas to avoid hospitals and not to seek medical attention, other than that provided at the nearest evacuation center set up by the military. At this point, we believe a virus is responsible for the violence. We've had several confirmed reports of victims being declared clinically dead by doctors attending the scene and then returning to life within minutes of this diagnosis with seemingly murderous rage. Adding to this, it appears as though some victims reported to have died from natural causes. The number of cases of this so-called reanimation is now thought to be in the thousands, and we believe it is now spread beyond the military's buffer zones. Anyone infected with this virus will attack those uninfected on sight. I can only urge members of the public to stay in their homes and avoid contact with anyone you suspect carrying this virus. At this point, we do believe the only method of contraction is through direct contact with an infected individual. Many of those patients admitted to the hospitals or who have reported to evacuation centers have been carrying terrible injuries, the most common being bite marks and deep lacerations. So at this point, we believe the virus is spread through either the blood or saliva of the affected.
We seem to have lost it there. I'm sure you would have found that announcement as shocking and unbelievable as I did. Although events we have witnessed within the last few hours seem undeniable. We've had reports that people all over the southeast are forming vigilante groups in an attempt to defend their homes against these violent mobs, although the military have condemned people taking part in such activities and stated that anyone caught outside in areas where martial law has been declared, or any person found to be engaging in public disorder, will be met with deadly force. One of our reporters recorded this interview in the last few hours.
Do you think what you're doing is right? What do you mean? Taking the law into your own hands. We're just keeping people safe. Like killing other people. Look, if we don't kill them, they'll kill us. It's that simple. These rioters won't stop for nothing.
Well, what we need is for everyone to stay inside, no matter how serious the situation may get. This curfew should be implemented nationwide to slow down the speed of the virus. However, widespread panic has set in and people are trying to escape the chaos, which is only going to speed up the spread of the virus. Look, I'd say this to everyone out there. Please, do not...
Oh, God! No!
Richard?
Reporting live from Homestead, where tragedy befell an immigrant family. An unidentified man has shot his wife and 16-year-old son to death before turning the gun on himself.
Jesus.
What?
I don't believe this.
What? Is there something with the camera? Just fix it.
She's still moving.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Brody, I'm right in the middle of a what? What?
Jesus fucking Christ.
For God's sakes. I thought they were dead.
They're supposed to be. They are. I don't know. She's moving on the freaking gurney, man. Get out of the way. Come on, get out of the way.
There's a backup here.
Get off here! Are you all right?
Jesus.
What the fuck is that? Just keep still.
The other one's moving. The other one's coming up too. Take him out! It's not going down! It's not going down! Holy shit! No, this can't happen.
Riot in progress. All officers are available for incoming 217. Rolling calls and dispatches to all locations. We got what looks like a 1091E near Peachtree exit to 285. All cars asked to keep on the lookout for a 91Z in the area. Be advised, medical personnel en route to Hartsfield, various 10s and 20s coming in.
Good afternoon, I'm David Barris. We want to get you some more information now on that huge wreck over near Plainfield on I-70. We want to show you exactly where we're talking about. This is I-70, closed at State Road 267. Also, that's near mile marker 64. That is the Plainfield, the main Plainfield exit. We can tell you if you're heading east.
This is an emergency alert message. This is not a test. This warning is for the following area: states located on the east coast of the United States and surrounding areas. A viral outbreak has occurred. It is highly contagious and lethal. Please stay in your homes and do not panic. If you come into contact with a sick individual, please call the Centers for Disease Control immediately and quarantine individuals who present symptoms. Symptoms include but are not limited to seizures, convulsing, cold skin, sweating, anger, violent outbursts, extreme hunger and bleeding from the eyes, nose, mouth and ears. This is not a test.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Indianapolis State Police Department. Civil authorities have issued a warning for the following counties: Hendricks and Marion. At 2:35 p.m., reports from these counties have issued an outbreak of a highly contagious virus. Some reports claim the outbreak started in the Hendricks and Marion County hospitals. Symptoms of this virus include loss of coordination, confusion, and eventually, certain death. Reports have also claimed that those infected have acted out in an extremely violent behavior. Citizens are extremely advised to avoid anyone with these symptoms. At this time, these counties are under quarantine until further notice. As a safety precaution, nearby counties are advising citizens to stay in their homes until the situation is dealt with. Stay tuned for further details as they follow.
We are interrupting our normal broadcast to bring you this important bulletin. We are getting disconcerting reports of mass murder from all over the state. Details are sketchy at this time. Although there was no official statement from law enforcement officials, the police chief has speculated that rival gangs may be involved. And I've just been told that we are going to go live to news correspondent Amanda Rogers, who is on site at the Deacon Center Mall. Hello, Amanda. Can you tell us what's going on there? Amanda? Hello? Well, it looks like we're having some technical difficulty getting in touch with Amanda. We'll try again momentarily. This is obviously some very disturbing news, and we will be staying with this story all day long. For those of you just tuning in, we will be on the air for the remainder of this crisis. The situation at this hour does not look hopeful. All routes out of the city are jammed. Mobs of what have been described as bloodied corpses have been seen marching throughout downtown. Reports of walking dead are coming in from around the tri-state area. Whatever is going on, it is not a local phenomenon. Clearly, this is a very dark time, a very confusing time. It is unclear why or how this is happening. This just in, the governor has issued this short statement. Stay in your homes and lock your doors. Do not trust anybody. This is Philip Hudson reporting live from the emergency headquarters at the Jared Smith Center for the Performing Arts. We have reports that the West End fires are spreading even further. People living in the area are advised to be very cautious. If the fire gets close, evacuate your family and head to the nearest safe house. Once again, the following is a list of military safe houses. Regional Police Precinct 22 at 239 Ellington Avenue, Old City Hall at 55 Mill Street, and the Jared Smith Center for the Performing Arts at 26 King Street. Folks, please bring whatever supplies you can. We are in dire need of food, water, clothing, batteries, flashlights, weapons, and ammunition. This is Philip Hudson reminding you that we will be doing reports every hour on the hour for as long as we can. That was Joe Grant with tips on making body armor out of household items. Thanks, Joe. I'll be working on my suit later this evening. We want to take a moment now to remind our listeners that the West End fires are still raging. The entire area is to be avoided if possible. In other news, we've been getting regular reports from a Mr. Kaufman about the City of the Living. When we spoke to Mr. Kaufman earlier today, he confirmed that the perimeter is complete and 100% effective. They are now focused on clearing out the remaining pockets of creatures. Efforts are currently underway to transport citizens to the safety of this city. As always, we will keep you informed as this story progresses. It looks as if the fires in the West End have finally burned themselves out. This should come as a relief to anyone still in the area. In other good news, the power is back on in much of the state. The good people at Minden Nuclear Plant were able to get Reactor B back online earlier today. We owe these professionals our gratitude for keeping the grid up during these trying times. Folks, we have some fantastic news for you. Mr. Kaufman, the man overseeing much of the work in the City of the Living, has just informed us that an evacuation effort will begin shortly. People interested in moving to the fortified city should make their way to the Jared Smith Center for the Performing Arts. We'll keep you posted as more details come in. Evacuation efforts to the City of the Living are well underway. People from all over the state have been arriving at the Jared Smith Center throughout the day. We expect that the convoy will move out sometime tomorrow. We have a situation here at the Jared Smith Theater. All the people arriving for the evacuation have led those creatures here. The military is holding them off at the moment, but I've never seen so many of those things in one place. Anyone coming here should be extremely... Angela! Oh no! Not you too!
Do you copy? Over. Please respond.
You better not be dead, man. Over.
He is. He's dead.
Oh, shit. I had a good feeling about him. You kill him?
What? No. Absolutely not. Why would... Listen, you have to make a call. I need help.
Sure. We all need help around here.
This isn't funny. Call someone, please.
Oh, boy. Let me be the first to officially welcome you to the end. The uncivilization.
What are you on about?
We're in a shitstorm, brother. And the forecast ain't about to change anytime soon. Society has imploded, and now it's every man for himself.
What? You're fucking crazy.
And you sound like my first wife. When I was prepared, and I survived. Listen, kid. Take a long, hard look at our friend. That's gonna be you, very soon. Unless you get your shit together and find a way to survive. You copy that?
What do I do?
Well, you can start by checking the poor bastard for supplies. He won't be needing them anymore.
Yes, he's got a gun. It's empty. It's fucking empty. Fuck! What now?
You stay alive. Top priorities: avoid dehydration, avoid hunger, always be on the lookout for food and drink. And find a weapon that don't rely on ammo.
There's a house.
Yeah, it's probably been ransacked already. But if you're lucky, you might find something useful. You got two choices. Option one, stay near the coast and stock up on supplies. But be warned, there's a lot of activity in those parts, and you might bump into hostiles.
And option two?
Head inland ASAP. But get lost out here without supplies and, well, you're fucked.
I can't believe this is happening.
And a word of advice, be wary of built-up areas. Sure, there's more to loot, but other survivors will flock to them like flies to shit.
So, like, risk versus reward?
Yeah, with the emphasis on risk.
Okay. I'm here. Heading inside.
Keep an eye out for decent clothing. Weather around here can be unpredictable. Exposure is sure as hell a shitty way to go.
There's a crowbar.
That should do the job. You won't find much ammo around here, so melee weapons are usually the way to go. Quieter, too.
You think I'll have to... What the fuck was that?
What was what?
Some really creepy sound coming from the back room.
Fuck. I would advise a retreat.
Oh, shit!
If you can hear me, go for the head! If you ain't dead...
Fucker!
Please...
Come on!
Please respond. Damn. It was nice knowing you, kid.
Piece of shit! What the fuck was that?
Thought I lost you there, son. Meet the infected. Majority population of Chernobyl. Best to avoid in the future.
Fuck. I'm bleeding. I'm fucking bleeding.
All right. Keep your panties on, Dorothy. Just gotta patch yourself up quickly. You got a bandage?
No.
Okay. Then find something sharp and tear your shirt into rags.
Where do I go now? What do I do?
Like I said, try and stay alive. You can navigate using signs and landmarks, and Chernobyl has a lot of tourist trails. Oh, And if you're lucky enough to stumble upon a map...
Yeah? Do you copy?
This is an emergency broadcast from the U.S. military. Please respond. This is an emergency broadcast from the American Safety Zone. Please respond.
Attention, Army! This is... the cops.
Jesus Christ! Captain, we got survivors. They say they're cops. We read you loud and clear, survivors. We are prepping an extraction team. Prepare yourselves and radio...
We're set to go, sir. Anytime you're ready.
Read you loud and clear. Get ready. We're on our way. That is a go, survivors. Be advised it will take us 10 minutes to reach you. Dig in and hold on. You got me? Hey there, survivors. We're still a good 8 minutes out. Sit tight. We are coming.
My name is John Morgan, and I'm a sergeant in the ADF. My squad and I were mobilised last night as part of the 2nd Battalion. We made an amphibious landing south of Wisdom Bay and are now preparing to hike into the jungle. While we aren't taking the highway, the brass won't say. Something big is going on, but the powers that be are keeping it rather mysterious. Our immediate superiors claim we're here to supply humanitarian aid, but then why are we so heavily armed? I'm making this audio diary not in any official capacity, but for my family, in the event that, for whatever reason, I do not make it out in one piece. I'm probably being overly dramatic, and I see no reason why I wouldn't survive this operation, but there's something about all this that just isn't sitting right with me. Alright, looks like we're heading out. Grab your gear, Johnson. Let's go, Miller. We're here in a remote village, inland in the Java River, and I don't even know how to describe what's happening here. In fact, I probably shouldn't even be recording this, but it's not the first time I've violated proper protocol. Some sort of plague has swept the town, and people are panicking. Those infected seem to have lost their bloody minds. They become violent and aggressive, and attack like rabid animals. They seem to feel no pain, and nothing will put them down short of a bullet in the brain. The orders on high aren't making much sense, and some of the men under my command are beginning to freak out. Not that I can blame them. 2 hours ago, we saw a young mother gnawing on her own bloody child. Jesus. They want us to keep everyone quarantined here and prevent their escape by any means necessary. When I asked them what that meant, they said, do we have to split it out? They had us abandon the village. They told us to get out immediately, and I've no idea why. They say this infection is out of control and spreading across the island. I have family in Henderson, but no one will bloody tell me what's happening there. If they're so worried about containing the bloody infection, why would they tell us to evacuate? They said we'd be safer. Did you hear that? Is that air support? Are they airdropping supplies for the villagers? I hope so. Those people are starving. It makes sense they drop air supplies since they've blockaded the highway in and out of. Oh my God, what are they doing? Are they firebombing the bloody village? Jesus Christ, they're burning them alive! This can't be right! What the hell are they doing? They bombed the bridges and the roads to prevent any movement of the civilian population. And now they're ordering us to kill any villagers who escape the firebombings. Not just the infected, but everyone. Men, women, children. My men are balking at this and I can't blame them. We're here to protect these people, not murder them. I told Colonel Ormsby, my commanding officer, that I would not order my men to murder innocent civilians. Colonel Ormsby said refusal to follow orders would be considered gross insubordination, and my men and I will be charged with desertion and arrested as traitors. Hold up, men. Looks like, some sort of research facility ahead. At least that's what it is according to the map here. Yeah, there could be food and supplies in there, but we need to... Johnson, wait! Hold up, mate. We need to reconnoiter the area before we... Oh, Jesus, what the bloody hell's that? Shoot it! Shoot it! Most of my squad is dead. Melby and Howard were lost in Kundera. Johnson was attacked by this abomination. Murphy put a bullet in him as his screams were raising the dead. At least they look and smell bloody dead, but how can that be? I came from the jungle, from everywhere, snarling like hungry animals. Miller panicked and ran into a whole mob of them. They fell on him like rabid dogs, tore him to pieces. The rest of us barely made it out alive. I was bitten on the shoulder, and the others were sure the infection would take me as well. And soon after we went to sleep, Jenkins tried to murder me. I had no choice but to shoot the bloody maniac. Everyone's scared to death. At this point, I think our only option is Henderson. At least there's a military base there. Most of our families are there as well. I just hope the city's still safe. The infection hasn't taken me, and I don't know why. The only reason my men haven't abandoned me is because they still think they need me. Everyone is our enemy. The civilians know the army's been slaughtering them and they're fighting back. They shoot at us on sight, but I'm not about to shoot back. They're bloody frightened. Who can blame them? I decided it would be best to avoid unnecessary confrontation, so we're travelling by the old Japanese World War II tunnels. They were shut down years ago, so we've no idea of what's down here. The whole bloody world's gone crazy, so we're probably safer down here than we would be up there. What was that? Shit. Set up ahead. Is that a person? Get to cover! We're under fire! We got some live ones! We're trying to stay quiet as the infected are everywhere. It's just the two of us now. Jack was bitten by something down in the tunnels. We're both hoping he'll be fine, as I seem to still be alright. Maybe some of us are immune to this plague. We're at the ferry, but it doesn't seem to be operational. Jack has family in Henderson as well. We need to find a boat to get us across. I just hope the military doesn't shoot us out of the water. I mean, who can we trust? The citizens despise us and the army considers us traitors. And then there's the infected. To them, we're just meat. I better quiet down. I don't want them to hear me. Jack attacked me last night. I beat him back and tied him up. Couldn't bring myself to kill him, even though the disease has taken him. He saved my life back in the jungle, and I can't just put him down like a rabid dog. Maybe there's a cure for this. I mean, there has to be, right? There has to be something. We're at the lighthouse in Henderson, and the city itself is in chaos. There's a huge quarantine area that's full to bloody bursting with the dead. I don't know what else to call them. They don't seem human. I just can't believe this is what it's come to. I haven't seen any other soldiers, and the citizens we have seen cowering inside. I see them watching me through the boarded up windows. I'm guessing the army's hiding as well. Holed up in their base. Afraid to bloody come out. My family's gone. My wife, my two girls. Jen left a note behind for me, just in case I came looking for them. Apparently the lines went down and she had no way to contact me, so she packed up the kids and left Henderson for the airport. She's trying to get to Australia. She has an aunt in Adelaide. I hope to God they weren't on that bloody highway when the army dropped those bombs. If they were caught in that, if the military slaughtered my family, I swear to God I will find out who issued that order and I will put a bullet in their bloody head. Shit. Somebody in here. Back in the girls' room. I better check, just in case. Oh, fuck! Fuck! Oh, Jesus Christ! Was that Mr. Barenka? Was it you my goddamn next-door neighbor? Oh, Jesus! Jesus, another! My name is John Morgan, Sergeant in the ADF, and I'm leaving this recording here because I do not trust the army to get it to my wife. If she's even still alive. Whoever finds this, please try to get this to Jennifer Ann Morgan. She's staying with a Mrs. Mary Rogers in Adelaide, Australia. All right. Jen, this is for you. I just want you to know that, you and the girls, you're everything to me. I'm so sorry I wasn't there to protect you, that you had to face this alone. You know, this morning I found a little boy hiding in a car. Couldn't be more than 5. His parents must have locked him in there to protect him. Who knows what the hell happened to them, but I've decided that I've no choice but to take him to the army base. I've nowhere else to turn. What other option do I have? Jen, it's likely they'll arrest me for going AWOL. But at least if they court-martial me, I can finally tell my side of the story, you know? Tell them what went on. People need to know what happened here. Hey. It's okay, son. I'm not mad at you.
I'm scared.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. Promise. Everything's gonna be okay.
Edge over the competition. Chester's.
That movie, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, that's the one where the corpses start eating the people, right? Sure. What about it?
You know that movie was based on a true case?
Ah, come on, you're shitting me, right?
I've never been more serious in my life.
That's not possible. I mean, they showed zombies taking over the world.
They changed it all around. What really happened was, back in 1969 in Pittsburgh at the VA hospital, chemical spill. All that stuff kind of leaked down into the morgue and made all the dead bodies kind of jump around zombies alive.
What chemical?
2,4,5-trans, it's called. It was to kind of spray on marijuana or something. And the Darrow Chemical Company was trying to develop it for the Army. And they told the guy who made the movie that if he told the true story, they'd just sue his ass off. So he changed all the facts around.
So what really happened?
They closed it all down, see? And the Army shipped all that contaminated dirt and all those dead bodies out. And they kept it a secret.
Long before the infection, there was peace, prosperity, and evolution. But now it's hell. The dead are everywhere. The smell of rotting flesh fills the air. I'd give anything to spend long and grueling days at the hospital again. Hours of time were spent in the ER, only to be filled with the memories of my staff's screams and being alive. The day the building was run over, I drove like hell to get out of there, but I was reckless in my escape. I lost control of my car and fell off the overpass. Rookie mistake, but I survived. They won't know. This city is not for the dead, but for the living. I will escape this hell at all costs, and we will wake from this nightmare.
Of Banoi. I'm investigating illegal logging and clear cutting that's not only damaging the ecosystem here, but costing the people of Banoi billions. I've been told that my life might be in danger as those behind this illegal activity will stop at nothing to protect their criminal enterprise. As a precaution, I will be leaving a trail of recordings wherever I go, so that if something were to happen to me, the truth would still be told. I'm leaving now to meet with an informant who I believe could rip the lid off of this investigation. I'm approaching the location where I'm to meet my informant. I must say, everything seems oddly quiet and deserted here. I'm a little concerned that my informant has been exposed. I hope he's all right. The door appears to be ajar. Mr. Anomo? Hello? Anyone here? Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. There's blood everywhere. I don't see a body, though. Mr. Anomo? What the hell? Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Oh my God! Whoever that was, I think I just killed her. Bashed her head in with a fucking lamp. She was out of her mind. She tried to bite me, for Christ's sake. She must have been 70 years old. Someone else is back there. I gotta get out of here. Oh, fuck. I had to throw away my jacket. There was so much blood on it. I would go to the authorities, but, yeah, I'm afraid they wouldn't believe this. That a psychotic 70-year-old woman attacked me and forced me to kill her. There seems to be some sort of traffic accident. Man, it is even more chaotic than usual out there today. Excuse me, driver? Any idea what's going on? I mean, why are all those people... You know, I got an idea. Why don't we turn around? It looks like... Jesus, what the fuck? I don't know. We might be in the middle of a terrorist attack here. People are running in panic, covered in blood, and it seems that... Oh my God! Oh my God! Jesus! Is this thing on? Testing? Testing? A few other survivors and I have made it to the city to find food and shelter. We are holed up in the slums, hiding in a rat-infested building. We're trying to fortify it the best we can to keep out... Oh, keep out what? Keep out I don't even know what. It's, it's like something out of a goddamn horror movie. It's got to be some kind of an illness. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know what kind. But what I do know is that people appear... Well, they appear to die, and then they get up. They rise up, and their minds are gone. They attack those who, I presume, aren't infected yet. And I know this is going to sound really crazy, but they eat human flesh. Did you hear that? They're massing outside. Shit. They know we're in here. People need to know what's happening here. It's the only reason I'm still recording these fucking messages, so people will know what the... Oh, shit. Shit. They're getting in. Shit. I'm so sorry, Karen. I am really so sorry. I know I haven't always been there for you and Jakey. I know I haven't been the best husband or father. I know you told me I'm always on the road, always working on the next story. And hey, surprise, you're right. But I'm recording this for you, and I'm hoping someone will find it because I don't think I have much time. I'm hiding in the back of a small store. They don't know I'm here, but I can hear them. They're looking for me. Jacob, I'm sorry I won't be there for you. I won't see your ball games or help you with your homework. Not that I was ever very good at that. Oh, fuck. was so exhausted I couldn't help but sleep. And in the morning, the infected were gone. I don't know where they went. Maybe they found other survivors, but I am making a run for it. This city is in chaos. Buildings are burning, wrecked cars cover the streets. At first there was looting, but now there's no one. The dead are everywhere. Where are the fucking police? The military? Why haven't they... Wait a second. There's someone up ahead. Oh man, it looks like a little girl. She's sitting in the street next to a woman who looks to be dead. Her mother, maybe? The girl's crying. Oh, Jesus Christ. Her face is buried in her chest and she's crying. Oh, I can't just leave her there, alone. She's about the same age as my son. No more than 6. Oh, fuck. Hello? Hey, sweetie. Are you okay? Honey? Maybe you should come with me. Sweetheart, Oh my God! Her face is covered with blood. Shit! Oh, God! I'm riding in a 4x4 following a group of survivors heading into the jungle. Apparently, someone on the radio is leading them to the source of this sickness. There's supposed to be some kind of a lab hidden in the jungle. Could this be some sort of experiment gone wrong? Some kind of animal-borne disease, like swine flu or bird flu that's mutated? If this spreads beyond Banoi, if it were to hit a major population center, it could be the end of everything. People need to know what this is. Maybe they can... We hit some kind of animal, and the car careened off the road and down an embankment, through the trees. The driver, my driver, is badly hurt. I think his leg is broken. Wait. I'm hearing something else, too. What the fuck is that? Something's coming. God, it's something big. Oh, my God. It's an orangutan. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. It's infected. It's the animal we hit. It should be dead. Why the fuck isn't it? Infected animal tore the driver right out of the car. Sorry, but I didn't even try to help him. I ran. I kept on running until I couldn't hear the driver screaming. Somehow I found the lab. A few of the guards thought I was infected. They almost fucking shot me. But they didn't, and thank God. And now I'm inside. I'm safe inside. But this complex, it is not defensible. A group, however, is preparing to leave the lab for the island prison. It's designed to house the worst of the worst. So it's a fortress. If the infection hasn't spread inside, then it may be the last safe place. The last chance any of us have to survive this. Jake, I don't know how long I can stay coherent. I can feel this sickness inside of me. They say the first symptoms are a high fever, and man, I'm sweating. The fluorescent lights are blindingly bright. We made it to the prison and thought we were safe. But the infection, it's everywhere. There is a contingent of prisoners, survivors, but before we could reach them, we were attacked. And get this, the one who bit me was missing half his fucking head and half his fucking teeth, and he bit me. Shit. Hey, but guess what? I showed him. I took him off at the fucking neck with my machete. Good thing no one saw me get bit, and my sleeve covers up the wound. But it's festering, and it's spreading inside of me. No one... Okay, so, I'm hungry. I'm fucking hungry.
A gnawing, burning, screaming need. So fucking painful, I can't even think. They're gonna see that I'm turning. I'm so sorry, Jacob. I'm so sorry. I'm working so hard to hold on to any thread of sanity. I can't even remember what I'm trying to say. Why am I so fucking ravenous? I feel like my fucking skin is on fire, like someone is driving nails into my fucking forehead. Stop it, stop it. Jacob? Hey, buddy. Why are you afraid of me? It's me. It's your dad. Jacob! Look out! Behind the door! Kill that fucking thing!
It infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills while forming a temperature that rises upwards of 105 degrees. After an hour of contracting this sickness, the infected will immediately convulse into an epileptic seizure before expiring and dying. 1 hour after that, however, the infected will start to move again, but there will be no registered pulse or other form of life, and the infected will instantly become extremely aggressive and attack any nearby non-infected in an attempt to pass on the disease. All citizens are advised to remain in your homes and to not leave under any circumstances at all. National Guard forces are currently deployed, and all local law enforcement are tasked with taking down any aggressive infected they come across.
Cap, don't make us seem old someday talking about it. We're a multiple choice question on a future history quiz. We'll even get our own chapter. What would you call it?
Thank God for my Janine's nuclear bunker of a cabin?
And for this dead trucker's radio.
That's not a clicky title at all.
It ends with the two of us standing together as king and queen of the apocalypse.
This really is the apocalypse, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
I started keeping track of all the people I've shot on the radio.
Yeah, these radios are a hot commodity.
Do you think that's why those guys were following you?
I don't know.
They're definitely off your trail, right? Devin?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty sure, yeah.
Make sure that they are. I had to lose one on my way too.
Of course. Look, I didn't realize how dark it was getting. I should switch off.
Just get here safe.
It's the eyes that's sick with you.
You don't sound good.
Yeah? You?
Someone's at the neighbors.
Whoa, what?
Someone's at the Larsons.
Get out of plain sight.
I can see them. They're not scavenging. They look afraid.
It could be a trap. Get off the radio. Stick away from the windows.
It's an older woman, and I'm assuming that's her daughter.
You can't trust people like this anymore. You haven't seen what I've seen.
And you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Two people who need help.
God, no, come on. Give me another day to get there.
I still have Janine's shotgun. We can talk when I'm back, and I'll let you know how they're doing.
Just wait. Just one more day. Rachel. Rachel, where are you?
Hey, Devin.
Who the hell is this?
I've been listening to you two for a while now. This world's changed you.
Where's Rachel?
She's still at the neighbors.
What do you want?
The food, the supplies, your wife. I like her. You should see how she set up this place.
Leave that cabin and don't come back.
Don't bother coming. There'll be nothing left for you here.
I'm gonna kill you.
That would be easy for you, wouldn't it? Here she comes. See you, Devin.
Rachel!
My name is Angela Guerra. My husband Paul and I are Peace Corps volunteers. We've been in Palanai, working in a small village in the eastern highlands that had no electricity or phones. It has been an amazing time, and they taught us so much more than what we taught them. But after 2 years, we'll soon be on our way home. Unfortunately, a strange illness has swept through the village, and that may delay our departure. The symptoms come on suddenly, and the sufferer is stricken almost immediately. That's why I'm recording this. To document what is happening here. My husband has been down with whatever this illness is since last night. He's dizzy, he's feverish. I'm really starting to worry. Paul? Are you alright? Why are you looking at me like that? I'm with a group of survivors and we're on foot, heading into the highlands. Paul was so feverish he was out of his head. It's like he didn't even know who it was. He attacked me and tried to bite me. I ran for help, but it was insane. People were screaming and fighting and crying, and this little boy, he couldn't have been more than 10, leaped on me and tried to bite me. I pushed him away, and a grown man, chopped off his head with a machete. Oh my God. What is happening here? Some said that the people who had lost their minds were dead. Dead! Like zombies. What? I went back and tried to find Paul, but he was gone. And I have no idea what happened to him. We lost one of our group last night. Bill. He was sleeping right by the fire when he was attacked. She looked like an old woman, but she moved so fast. Half her left arm was gone. You could see the bone, white in the firelight. And she made the most terrible, growling, gurgling sound. Blood ran down her face and she still had Bill's flesh in her teeth. Zico hit her in the head with a shovel. But she got up again, and he hit her again and again, until finally he had to decapitate her. She looked like she was 70 years old. Most of her clothes had been torn off. Some say it's Kudru, that cannibal disease, but how is that possible? These people are dying, and they are resurrecting. Well, Bill, he was badly hurt. And he was afraid the disease would take him, and he didn't want to become one of them. So he grabbed Gabrielle's shotgun and put it in his mouth, and the sound was so loud. We knew it would attract other infected, so we ran. Into the dark, into the jungle. There aren't very many of us left. Some kind of research facility. John went running for it, and that was a mistake. Something came out of the woods and attacked him. It was huge and covered in these festering boils. I'd seen some terrible things, but nothing like this. We beat the poor creature down, and Zico split its skull. John was badly hurt, barely alive. He begged me to put a bullet in his head so he wouldn't resurrect. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. So I handed him the gun, and he... Oh, Jesus. After that, I just lost it. I screamed. I swore. I was so goddamn angry. And that's when a man came out of the facility. He heard me cursing, so he knew I wasn't sick. He was so surprised to see us. His name is Dr. Kessler, and I know I should be grateful that he took us in. But there's something off about him. He's involved in some sort of research project, but he seems very evasive. He says we can't stay long as he doesn't have enough food for all of us. Tom wants to force the issue, but I don't trust this Kessler. The people of Paul and I are so kind. In the village where Paul and I were assigned, they lived such simple lives. They lived in huts and grew their own food. And I taught them how to read English and do simple math. And in the evenings, it would be time for talk story. We would all tell stories. It's a big tradition here. Once I showed them pictures from home, of LA. And they saw two homeless men on Hollywood Boulevard, crude signs propped between their legs. They asked me what they were doing. And I told them they were homeless and they didn't understand. The concept made no sense to them. How could they be homeless? They said if I would bring them here, they would build them huts and plant them gardens, and their generosity was so genuine, it made me cry. Is our society really more civilized than theirs? What do I have to teach them? I asked him to come with us, but he's determined to stay. I don't know, maybe we can send help for him once we reach Henderson. There's a military base there, and if there's anywhere that's still safe, that's probably it. The rain has been steady. Oh, and it's coming down harder, and the river is starting to rise. We're all worried the road will wash out before we can make our way there. Oh, the mosquitoes are eating us alive. Tom seems feverish, and I see how the others are looking at him. He says he hasn't been bitten, but this is clearly a blood-borne disease. Couldn't it be transmitted by mosquito? I mean, why would it be any different from malaria or West Nile virus? And if that's true, we all might have it, and any one of us could turn at any moment. He hung himself. It was so horrible. But the rain was coming down so hard and waters were rising, so we didn't have time to cut him down or bury him. I didn't think we'd make it here. Mud was rolling down the hills like black lava. I never knew a mudslide made so much noise. There were boulders bigger than cars, and the trees were cracking and snapping. It was terrifying, and with the pounding rain, we had to shout to even hear each other. We barely made it to the ferry, and the undead were everywhere. Military planes are flying overhead, but where are the soldiers? Where are the authorities? Maybe we'll find some answers in Henderson. The people here in Henderson are terrified. They know as much as we do. Clearly, there's no stopping this. The military instituted martial law, and part of the city has been quarantined, but it doesn't seem to be helping. The infection just keeps spreading. The dead wash ashore and rise up and attack like wounded animals. The soldiers try to put them down, but there are so many. They have no idea what's happening either. They're getting conflicting orders. No one seems to know who's in charge. It's crazy. People are getting desperate, and I'm really afraid. Most of the soldiers are so young. They're as terrified as everyone else. I'm here with a group of survivors hiding out here in an abandoned store, hoping that the army will send in reinforcements and finally get the upper hand. Some say that Henderson is lost, and that soon the few survivors left will be at each other's throats over the last food and water. But I don't know about that. There's a deep sense of community here, and not everyone has given up. There's a doctor, Dr. Cecil, who set up a field hospital. I'm doing everything I can to help him, and we're making a difference. That's why I joined the Peace Corps, to help people. So that's what I'm doing. Besides, it's better to keep busy. When I close my eyes and try to rest, all I can think about are all the horrible things I've seen. I have too much to do to dwell on any of that. I have people here who... The military base is in trouble. You can hear alarm sirens going off and all kinds of explosions. I thought they would help us. I thought they would protect us. But they can't even protect themselves. If you find this recording, please get it to Mike and Blanca Guerra in Woodland Hills, California. Mom, Dad, I know you didn't want me to come here. I know you didn't understand why I wanted to leave LA and join the Peace Corps. I'm sorry I disappointed you. I wanted to see the world, have an adventure, make a difference.
Come in. Come in. This is Fire Lieutenant Ballard reporting from Shy Peak. I highly advise immediate evacuation. The fires are spreading fast. At this rate, I say all of this year, most of Yosemite will be gone in about a week. If there's anyone still out there who needs assistance, please respond. It's been 2 days since I heard from Central Comms. Ramos was supposed to be back at the tower this morning, but I'm starting to fear the worst. All of the that were dropped, I hope it was worth it. Cities can be rebuilt, but this, losing all of this beauty, why did we have to rope nature into our fate? It's not right. Assuming one responds, this will be my final transmission. I'll leave the comms on until sunrise.
Hey, wanted to tell you that I'm gonna say what? Japan. It can't be as bad as Portland. I'm well enough stocked. Got about 6 jugs of water, and I can fill them up when it rains. Food might be a little trickier, but I used to go fishing a lot when I was a kid, so yeah. I'll make it. I always wanted to go to Tokyo. You always wanted to go to Tokyo. But it's like that one summer when I convinced myself that us quitting our jobs and moving to Europe together was a good idea. You'd probably talk me out of this mess too. But you're gone now.
10 days ago, a new viral outbreak had broken out in New York City and had quickly spread throughout the Northeast and is currently ravaging its way through the Midwest, southern United States, and is quickly making its way to the West Coast. All citizens are advised to remain inside their homes and to not be seen on the streets. The infected are extremely aggressive and will attack those who are not infected. Once infected, there is no known cure and there is a 100% probability of death. National Guard, armed forces, local law enforcements, and other militarized branches of the United States military are currently on a shoot-on-sight order for all infected that they find outside of homes. If you are found to be outside of your home, you will be neutralized immediately. Repeat, stay indoors and do not go outside. Do not leave your homes at the sight of militarized forces or else you will be shot and neutralized immediately.
Well, had I considered the prospect of first contact, I would have prepared proper remarks toward the establishment of relations. Over.
I don't quite know what to say either. I've gotten to the point where I figured this was a waste of time. Over.
Perhaps an exchange of Q&As might grease the wheels. A few right off the top of my dome. Where are you located? How long have you been there? How many people do you have? And should we continue saying over? Over.
We can probably make do without the overs. As for the other stuff, I don't think I'm comfortable sharing it just yet.
Understandable. Any alts more within your zone of comfort?
Talk about our lives before all this?
My personal origin entails a long and storied history. Were you thinking prologue, or should I skip ahead a few chapters?
I guess so. Start with where you're from.
Certainly. A Lone Star child at heart, I was born in the shadows of Big D. That's a well-worn nickname for Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I picked up on that. I grew up in Pennsylvania, a small town called Strasburg.
Dubious as it may seem, I know Strasburg, Pennsylvania well.
Sure you do.
True as Coventry Blue. During adolescence, I went through a significant foamer phase. Locomotives were my jam. As such, my parents purchased a pair of tickets to the 1995 Train Fan Expo at the Railroad Museum in, well, you guessed it.
Strasburg, Pennsylvania. Whoa!
The most vivid memory of an ice cream shop with the most marvelous batch of black raspberry ice cream.
The inside scoop! I went there all the time. Hell, you and I might have been there on the same day.
Well, no, unless there's a critical question needs answering. Cake cone or waffle?
In the fall of 1969, the Darrell Chemical Company, under contract to the U.S. Army, conducted a series of secret experiments with a new biological weapon called 2,4,5-trioxin. According to reports, the chemical was a catalyst in genetic reactification. What this meant and why trioxin was useful has never been revealed. But one thing is certain. Trioxin was soon considered too dangerous and volatile, even for experimental use. Interest in the lethal compound was abandoned several years ago. The Army will not comment, other than to say all trioxin has since been destroyed.
It's a bloody holiday ever. I was at the Royal Palms Resort on Vinoy, working as a bodyguard for some asshole CEO. I figured once he left the island, I'd have a good week to relax on the beach, enjoy a Mai Tai or two. But no, that wasn't to be. As I woke up one morning to discover that the goddamn zombie apocalypse had arrived. A local lifeguard by the name of Cinnamon saved my life. Soon after that, I discovered I was immune to whatever this plague was. I met a few others who were immune, and somehow we were all elected to save everybody else. There was Sam B, a one-hit wonder hip-hop star from the States. Logan, an ex-football player and full-time douchebag who never missed a chance to hit on me. And Shin Mei, a sweet little hotel clerk who was as brutal with a blade as anyone I had ever seen. Together, we went to Moresby to try to gather more supplies. And from there, things really went to hell. The Army tried to contain the infection, but they were bloody useless. Vinoy itself was totally isolated. It was pretty clear we were on our own. At this point, we just wanted off that goddamn island. And that's what led us to that maximum security prison. You see, some dickhead colonel by the name of Ryder White lied to get us to track down what he thought was a cure for this zombie plague. Well, that cure ended up turning White into a giant bloody maniac. Luckily, we hooked up with a prisoner who flew us out of there on the colonel's helicopter. We were off that goddamn island at last. And everyone we tried to save back on Vinoy, well, they just didn't make it. Except for that little native girl, Nerima. We spotted that naval vessel just in time, as we were just about out of petrol. We couldn't believe how lucky we were to finally find a safe haven.
Riot in progress. All officers are available for incoming 217. Rolling calls and dispatches to all locations. We got what looks like a 1091E near Peachtree exit to 285. All cars asked to keep on the lookout for a 91B in the area. Be advised, medical personnel en route to Hartsfield, various 10s and 20s coming in.
Please take your seats. If you're standing, we can't fly. Thank you.
Lord Jesus, thy name be praised.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, sweetie, everything is gonna be okay.
Did you talk to Dad?
He'll be there when you land in the morning, and I'll get there tomorrow, worst case.
Hey, are we actually taking off?
Just waiting on clearance. Please sit down.
Really? Because this says they grounded flights.
We will take off if you take your seat. Please. Sit down, honey. Please, sit down.
Jake, you still there?
Yeah, Mom. Are they grounding flights?
I don't know, baby, but I can drive if I have to. I'll get there. I'll get there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard flight.
Hey, Mama, I think they're gonna hang up.
Okay, try to get some rest, all right?
Hey, what was that?
It's nothing, baby. Someone's just upset. Try to sleep, okay?
No, Mom.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey,
I love
Mom,
you.
what is going on?
I love
Tell
you.
me.
Vodka rocks. You all alone?
Oh, my mom and I were on standby. They only had room for one more, so she'll get on the next flight.
Yes, she will. You believe that. Be somebody to catch you when we get to Phoenix.
Yeah, my dad's waiting for us. He just moved out there for work.
Move it!
It's the reflux.
How long has your husband been sick?
I told you, he's not sick. It's reflux. His whole side of the family.
It doesn't seem like indigestion.
Are you a doctor? Then mind your own goddamn business.
Hey, you think it's this flu that's been going around?
As we prepare for our initial descent into Phoenix, the captain asks that you return to your seats, and please make sure your seat belts are securely fastened. Please return your tray tables and seat backs to their full upright position. Thank you.
Yes, may I please tinkle in first class? That man is still in there. Excuse me, ma'am.
Sir? Sir, we're landing. You need to come out. Sir? Sir, you cannot remain in the laboratory during landing. Sir!
The lights went out. Did you see that?
Sir? Sir?
It was like just there, and then...
Sir, we're about to land. You need to take your seat.
Marcus, honey, what's wrong? Marcus, we have to get him out of there.
Ma'am, it's not safe for you to be here. Please.
Open the door, please.
Don't open it.
Whoa, 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 hold on.
Don't open it.
Sir?
Marcus.
Sir!
Marcus.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. Sorry to report that Phoenix is experiencing a power failure, and without a visible landing strip, we're going to have to reroute to LAX at this time.
No! Tell him we have to land. Tell him we have to land right now. My husband needs a doctor, please.
Can you feel a pulse?
Oh, no. Oh, honey, wake up. Wake up.
Ma'am.
Wake up,
Ma'am,
honey.
I need you to move.
No, guys.
I need you to move.
Don't let him bite you.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Go!
In here. Get him in here. Get him in.
No! Shut the door! Shut the door!
Lock it. Oh my God.
Tie her down now.
She's hurt. We need to help her.
Tie her down, then help her. What happened to him? What happened to her?
Oh my God.
Come on, let's see.
We have to land the plane. Tell the captain.
I've been trying. There's nowhere to land.
How did you know?
I just want to see my husband.
Ma'am, your husband is sick.
So help him.
There's nothing we can do.
Let me tell him that I love him. I don't hear anything anymore. Marcus?
No,
Marcus!
don't.
He's dying!
He's dead! Get back! Just get back!
Everybody stay back!
Get to a seat!
Shit, are you okay?
You mean aside from being lost in the woods, attacked by psychopaths, and watching two of my best friends die? Yeah, I'm peachy.
Sorry I asked.
So, is it this bad everywhere?
Man, I hope not. We got some survivors back at the ranger station that seem to know what's going on, but we didn't have time for orientation.
Well then, let's get the hell back there. You want to take point, or should I?
So, where are we going?
I don't know. I guess we just head to town and try to find somebody.
Yeah, or...
Or?
Well, I kind of took that guy's walkie-talkie. Maybe we can raise somebody on that.
Jesus, Ed, why did you do that?
I don't know. I figured if he had a radio, there must be somebody on the other end.
So you robbed a dead guy, and you expect his friends to help us out?
Wait, who says they're his friends? I mean, maybe they didn't even really like the guy.
Dad? Dad, are you there?
Oh, shit.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Who is this?
Listen, we're stuck up here on Mount Tanner. My friend needs medical attention. Can you help us?
Can you make it down to Spencer's Mill? Some of us are holed up at the church. If your friend doesn't look too dicey, we'll let you in.
The church in Spencer's Mill. We're on our way. We'll, try not to look too dicey. We're headed your way. You said you were holed up in a church? What the hell's happening around here?
You haven't heard?
No cell reception at the lake. Guess you could say we've been out of the loop.
All we know is a bunch of crazy people tried to eat us.
It started, 12, 13 days ago? At first it was just weird stories on the news. Random maulings, violent incidents at hospitals, black helicopters in the sky, just strange stuff. I guess they were trying to keep it quiet, but that didn't last too long. People figured it out pretty quick. People who die, they don't stay dead. They come back as one of those things.
I told you that guy was dead.
Seems like the only way to stop them for good is with a shot to the head. Anything else, they just keep coming.
So you're saying those things are zombies?
I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of messed up supervirus. Maybe it's rape. So, how'd you end up on this frequency?
Just lucky, I guess. It was pretty chaotic up at the lake.
You're not gonna tell her?
I don't know yet.
Dude, it's her dad.
You want to confess that we killed her father and stole his radio before they patch you up?
Yeah, okay, maybe we leave that part out.
Zed's up ahead.
Lily, did you invite these strangers?
Good. You made it.
That one doesn't look so good.
Name's Ed. Pleased to meet you.
Come with me, son. We'll see to those wounds.
God damn it! We got enough trouble without bringing in another freeloader to use up all our medicine.
Real nice, Alan. I offered them shelter. I'm letting them in. Us freeloaders have to stick together.
Girl's got the common sense God gave a tree stump. You're worse than your brother.
Come on. I'll give you the nickel tour. I spend most of my time here, using the radio to coordinate everyone. Next up's the kitchen. Sam's our unofficial in-house chef, but, well, there's only so much anybody can do with canned soup and pork rinds. Seriously, though, rule number 1, all the food stays in here and it stays sealed. You wouldn't believe how fast rats get into things otherwise. We learned that one the hard way. Sleeping quarters? Hope you don't mind sharing. We're pretty tight on space here. Alan's been saying we should move to someplace bigger, but my dad's a carpenter, and he says we could build like a dorm room or something to get more space.
How many people do you have here?
I think you've met just about everybody, except maybe my brother and my dad. They're out scouting for supplies, I think. I haven't heard from them in a while.
Rest easy, son. How do you feel?
Like somebody took a weed whack in my fucking neck.
We may have something here for the pain, but I'm more concerned about this fever. Could be a sign of infection. We'll need to get Dr. Hansen out here. I'll see if I can get him on the radio.
Thanks, I appreciate the hospitality.
Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing, some have unwittingly entertained angels.
How about that? I might be an angel.
Look, I didn't want to say this in front of your friend, but fever is a bad sign, especially after a bite. Pastor Will's going to try and get Doc Hansen to come down and take a look at him, but if he doesn't get some antibiotics, he's probably not going to make it. If it comes to that, I promise Alan will take care of him. Bullet to the brain before he turns. It's for the best.
Jesus, Lily, he's not a rabid dog.
Don't you get it? More of us didn't make it than did. We can't be soft-hearted about this. Not anymore. We need medicine here anyway. You can't be sick. You understand? No one can be sick.
So that's it, huh? Nice to meet you. Would you prefer to be shot in the face or kicked out on your asses?
No, it's... Okay, look. We're barely hanging on here as it is. Medicine was some of the first stuff to run out. We don't have any to spare for your friend. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
What if I find some more? Will that help pay our rent?
Yeah, okay, sure. If you can find a place to get more medicine, I'll make sure your friend has a place to stay.
His name is Ed.
I know. If you need to resupply before you head out, check the locker.
Nobody minds if we're getting shit done. We need extra stuff.
I figured it out.
Just don't take shit you haven't earned.
All of my suspicions were true. It's the government. It's always been the government. He's crazy, you're probably thinking. He's just a nut job talking to himself. Could be. Could be not. The research I've done, what I've found, it all checks out. The greatest calamity our world has ever faced was caused by those who were meant to protect us. What started out as a little bit of population control backfired, and bam, here we are, us and the dead. But that's not all. Oh, no, not even close. In my findings, I kept coming across a single acronym over and over, NOAH. You all know what that means, right? It's obvious. These sons of bitches who took everything are running away like cowards. They're taking off into the sky and leaving what's left of us to rot. But you know what? It ain't going down like that. Not on my watch. We're running out of time. Who's with me? Who is ready to make them answer for what they did?
A deadly virus outbreak is sweeping across the globe, leaving a trail of chaos and fear in its wake. This virus, which some are calling the resurgence virus, has brought about a wave of panic and confusion. Authorities are struggling to maintain control as cases of infected individuals rise. The number of casualties is rising by the hour, leaving communities devastated and mourning. Loved ones are forced to confront the unimaginable reality of watching their friends and family members succumb to this virus.
Reports are pouring in from various cities about people succumbing to the virus and then inexplicably returning to life.
Dad, I've gone to the city. Please don't come for me. There's a curfew here. Just keep them safe. I'm sorry. I love you.
I'm here on the streets of LA. Bustling neighborhoods are now deserted. The eerie silence interrupted only by the moans of the infected. Residents are barricading themselves in their homes, unsure of who they can trust.
Indicate that the CDC is working around the clock to contain the outbreak. They're advising citizens to stay indoors, avoid any contact with the infected, and report any sightings to the authorities immediately.
The infection is spreading rapidly, overwhelming hospitals and emergency services. Hospitals are now overwhelmed, and makeshift treatment centers are being set up to accommodate the growing number of patients.
Good evening, I'm James Paker, and welcome to this special report on the ongoing resurgence virus outbreak. Tonight, we focus on a vulnerable population that's at the forefront of this crisis: the homeless community in Los Angeles. The homeless population, already facing numerous challenges, now finds itself in the crosshairs of the virus's deadly spread. In a heart-wrenching twist, the very individuals society often overlooks are now bearing the brunt of this pandemic. I'm here on the streets of Los Angeles, where the homeless population is grappling with the devastating impact of the resurgence virus. Overcrowded shelters, lack of access to sanitation facilities, and limited healthcare options have created a perfect storm for the virus's rapid transmission. As we've seen, the virus doesn't discriminate. And the homeless population, lacking the resources to protect themselves, faces an even graver risk.
I mean, what is it going to take for me to, basically like get out from over here? And she said, why didn't I take what was offered? And so it's like, not that I didn't want it, it's just, it's way out of my way from where I originally stay at.
Advocacy groups and local organizations are stepping up to provide support, but the scale of the challenge is immense. Outreach teams are working tirelessly to provide information, hygiene kits, and medical assistance to those in need. Authorities are working to establish safe spaces for the homeless to isolate themselves and receive medical attention if necessary. These efforts are crucial not only for the well-being of the homeless, but also for containing the virus's spread within the broader community. But the road ahead is difficult. Many homeless individuals suffer from underlying health conditions, which puts them at a higher risk of severe illness if infected. The lack of access to regular health care exacerbates this vulnerability. The situation also highlights the systemic issues that have contributed to the homelessness crisis in Los Angeles and beyond. Addressing homelessness isn't just about providing temporary relief. It's about creating lasting solutions that ensure everyone has access to safe housing and health care. Despite the challenges, the homeless community is showing incredible resilience. Mutual aid networks are forming, with homeless individuals looking out for one another and sharing resources. As we confront this crisis, it's a stark reminder that we're all interconnected. The well-being of one group directly impacts the well-being of society as a whole. The homeless crisis has magnified this truth, reminding us of our shared humanity. Thank you for joining us for this special report on the homeless community's plight in the face of the resurgence virus outbreak. Let's continue to work together to find solutions that protect the most vulnerable among us. From all of us here, stay safe and remember that our collective actions can make a difference. Good night.
With hospitals compromised, it's crucial to know where you can find safety and support. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has outlined guidelines for secure locations during a zombie apocalypse. The CDC recommends seeking refuge in locations that are easily defensible and well-stocked with essentials. Look for areas with limited entry points, strong barriers, and ample supplies of food, water, and medical provisions. Avoid densely populated places that can attract hordes of zombies. According to the CDC guidelines, safe zones include military bases, equipped with trained personnel, weapons, and fortified perimeters. Military bases offer a strong line of defense against the undead threat. Rural retreats. Remote cabins, farms, or isolated communities can provide safety away from urban centers and the masses of infected. Prisons. With secure walls and facilities, prisons can serve as viable safe zones. Just be cautious of any remaining inmates. Underground facilities. Bunkers, tunnels, or underground parking structures offer protection from the relentless undead. High grounds. Mountains, hills, or elevated areas are harder for zombies to access and provide a strategic vantage point. The key to survival is adaptability and resourcefulness. The situation can change rapidly, so always stay informed through emergency broadcasts like this one. Keep your communication devices charged, travel in groups, and conserve your resources. If you're in need of assistance or have valuable information to share, call the helpline at We're in This Together, and your safety is our top priority. Stay vigilant, stay strong, and stay alive. This has been your emergency broadcast, bringing you news in the face of adversity. Until next time, stay safe and stay tuned.
We cannot hold them off. Operator of the safe zone. We're under attack. I repeat, we're under attack. This is the moment that we need some help. We knew this was going to happen. Now we're ready more than ever to people, and that moment will define us forever. If anyone can hear us, please, we need you. Our hearts go out to the brave ones taking a stand.
Not pressurized, and I'll tell you why that's even something I'm thinking about was because over right now on the East Coast, these guys are talking about this craziness with these people getting sick or ill and attacking other people. And I'm just telling you right now, I don't think it's real. I don't think the whole thing is, it's gotta be fake, it's gotta be something, you know? Everybody's talking about them getting sick or having some sort of problems, and it just doesn't make any sense, man. It's just, you gotta understand what's going on over here, you know? It's probably just something in the water. You know, everybody wants to worry about stuff, and you just gotta relax with this. You just gotta let it flow. And that's why I think we over here, I mean, that's the beauty of being in the weather that we're in. Everything is nice and warm. Nobody ever gets sick that much because of, you know, the weather that's coming. So a lot of people right now want to get really worried about what's coming out there, thinking, hey, can it be over here? And, you know, that's the thing is that's why we filter our water and we get it from where we're safe and healthy, and we just kind of cover ourselves, you know, because that thing is, it makes it so we can't be affected by the stuff, you know? So over there, I just think it's not like what they think it is. It's got to be something different. So that's, you know, if you just sit there and worry about it, it's going to be something you worry about for a long time, and it's never going to happen. And that thing is, I don't think it's happening the way they're saying it's happening. It's a big cover-up, man. That's what it is. It's always some big cover-up that's happening. It's all made to distract you from something else. So that, yeah, everybody's worried, saying they don't want to go over there, that something's going to come over here. And what's really going to happen is it's going to be like the splash in the pan thing, you know? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and everything's going to be over. And then you're going to be like, I can't believe I even worry about that. And, you know, this is it. This is why we live the healthy lifestyle we live. This is why we take the extra precautions that we have to make sure this stuff isn't going to come and get us, you know? So that we won't have anything. So, you know, this whole hype on the East Coast, and of course, everybody's getting crazy. Everybody's so packed into places that they're like, oh, it's just, they can't dodge it or whatever's going to happen. We had friends come back from over there, and we didn't see anything. We didn't see anything that was like crazy. I didn't see crazy people walking through the streets. You know, it was just something that happened in some
Resurgent virus crisis, the care and well-being of our elderly population. As our world grapples with unprecedented challenges, we shed light on the struggles faced by our senior citizens and the strategies in place to support them. In these times of uncertainty, our senior citizens confront a host of unique challenges. From mobility limitations to medical needs, the impact of isolation, and more, their journey through this crisis is both poignant and vital to explore. Tonight, we bring you an in-depth look at the obstacles faced by our elderly and the strategies put forth to ensure their safety and well-being. The elderly face heightened vulnerability due to reduced mobility, particularly during moments of crisis. Navigating hazardous terrain in the presence of a resurgent virus can be treacherous. With healthcare systems strained to their limits, many seniors struggle to access essential medical care and medications. Their health is on the line as they contend with limited resources. As social interactions dwindle due to lockdowns and evacuation protocols, the elderly grapple with the debilitating effects of isolation, leading to feelings of loneliness and despair. Technological advancements often leave older generations disconnected from vital information channels. Accessing critical updates on safe zones and emergency procedures poses a challenge. Reading safe zones tailored to the elderly is imperative. Equipped with medical facilities and essential supplies, these zones also accommodate mobility challenges. Dedicated medical teams are stepping up to bridge the healthcare gap, providing crucial services to elderly individuals in their sheltered environments. These teams are a lifeline. Volunteers are lending a hand to the elderly, assisting with tasks such as carrying supplies, aiding mobility, and providing much-needed companionship. Blending traditional media like radio with modern methods ensures that emergency broadcasts reach every segment of the population, including the elderly. Remote counseling services and virtual support groups are vital resources combating the emotional toll of isolation and depression. As we face these daunting times, the resilience of our society is measured by our commitment to safeguarding every citizen, regardless of age. Through understanding, compassion, and action, we can stand together, ensuring the well-being and security of our elderly population. Should you have elderly family members in need or wish to extend your support, please reach out to the helpline. Let's remember that even as the resurgent virus challenges our world, our humanity and unity remain unwavering. Thank you for joining us for this special report on the genuine impact of the resurgent virus on the elderly. In these trying times, our collective empathy and determination make all the difference. Stay informed, stay connected, and most importantly, stay safe.
This is an emergency alert message. This is not a test. This warning is for the following area: states located on the east coast of the United States and surrounding areas. A viral outbreak has occurred. It is highly contagious and lethal. Please stay in your homes and do not panic. If you come into contact
with violent mobs. Today the military was said to have been dispatched, but we have learnt that's not going to happen. They've sealed off most of London as far as the M25 motorway. But we don't know why that's happened. People are scared. People are terrified.
Ma non tutti ci sono riusciti. Alcune persone si sono dirette verso sud, provocando così numerose code sulle autostrade.
Level 1, flu-like symptoms, initially mistaken for Ebola. Is level 2, the hemorrhaging begins. Level 3, patient secretes black necrotic blood from prolonged internal hemorrhaging. Brain damage from blood loss, confusion from high fever, extreme aggression. And here's level 4. This is the interesting stage, the hibernation stage, kind of like suspended animation. Level 5, severe brain damage. The patient becomes extremely violent and will attack and kill anything it encounters.
Vi ripeto, non uscite di casa. Tutti quelli che escono andranno incontro a una forza mortale. Questa è per la vostra sicurezza. Attenzione, attenzione, non uscite di casa. Tutti quelli che escono andranno incontro a una forza mortale.
The Italian Prime Minister has strongly denied the validity of the footage and called it a shameful attempt to undermine the government. Now, we'll shortly be going live to our correspondent in India, where there have been reports in the past 24 hours of a deadly disease spreading rapidly across much of the country. As yet, the cause and nature of the disease are unknown. We now go to our India correspondent live in New Delhi, where the situation is rapidly worsening. So, what is happening there on the streets, Jason?
Well, yes, Richard, currently the disease is still unknown. We have reports of rapid infection followed by toxic shock soon after the victims' hearts have stopped. However, these reports are largely unconfirmed. It also seems that mass hysteria and panic has turned into violence, causing mass riots, involving literally tens of thousands of people. We've also been told that victims of the disease have become very violent and also responsible for hundreds, if not thousands, of deaths. It is also said that they attack any humans that they come in contact with, even friends and family.
Do they know how the disease is spread yet?
No, unfortunately, we still have no solid evidence of how the disease has spread. Although anything at this point would be pure speculation. Doctors, however, have been trying to examine victims in the quarantine, but this is proving to be difficult because they are not able to be sedated properly and they are very violent. Despite reports that victims have been dying within hours of contracting the virus.
Do you have any idea of the current number of victims in India? Have the Indian government released any of that information yet?
Well, yes, as you know, India has one of the biggest populations in the world, and this disease, we've actually been told this disease has spread across the Mumbai slums already, and there have been reported outbreaks in at least 5 other major cities. There's also current estimates by the government that indicates that there are 900,000 casualties in the last 24 hours.
So what warnings and help are the Indian government giving the people?
Well, the Indian government is urging people to stay calm and stay indoors. They've been told people not to go near any victims, only to go out in extreme emergency, and otherwise people should stay in their homes at all times. All foreign nationals have been told to return to their countries as soon as possible, and all inbound flights have been diverted away from Indian airspace.
Well, I'm afraid we're going to leave it there. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Richard.
We're joined in our studio now by Alec Charles, spokesman for the Ministry of Defence. Mr. Charles, thank you for joining us. Now, do you think the military's handling of the current crisis has been sufficient?
Yes, our response to the crisis has been swift. We've been working hard to bring the situation under control, and we're doing everything possible to contain the problem. I can confirm that a buffer zone has been set up around London to ensure the violence doesn't spread any further.
Yes, but Mr. Charles, the government has been heavily criticised for not redeploying military units stationed overseas here in the UK. Now, these troops account for a large percentage of our military strength. In light of the worsening situation, will this option now be reconsidered?
Our forces overseas will remain exactly where they are. Our commitments haven't changed, and we've assured the international community that Britain will not be bringing her troops back home. This is a global problem, and our forces overseas are needed more than ever before. We're confident that here in Britain, we can restore law and order with our existing level of troops.
Well, surely, Mr. Charles, this can't be the case. Many people see the creation of this buffer zone as separating London and parts of the south of England a clear indication that the military have in fact lost control and that millions of people are being abandoned.
That is absolutely not the case. We've installed martial law across the whole of the south of England. There's a 24-hour curfew in place. People have to stay at home for their own safety's sake until this problem has passed.
Now, we've had unconfirmed reports that all military units and emergency service personnel currently operating south of this buffer zone have in fact been ordered to withdraw. Now, how can you possibly expect to maintain a curfew if any kind of law enforcement has been withdrawn from this area?
The gangs of rioters in their thousands are swarming through the streets of London at the moment. They're destroying buildings, they're attacking people indiscriminately. At the moment, we're in a strong position to stop the violence in its tracks. We've got the buffer zone in place, and that acts as a vacuum between the rioters and the rest of the country, enabling us to control and contain the violence, which is our highest priority.
It's widely thought that these riots actually began in London. Now, if this was the case, surely swift intervention by the military working in conjunction with the emergency services would have been enough to contain the situation and keep it limited to London. However, we now know that London has been cordoned off by the military and no attempt whatsoever is being made to intervene. And in fact, to restore law and order in the capital other than that already being made by London-based emergency services.
Before this widespread violence reached Britain, dozens of other countries affected with similar outbreaks of lawlessness and rioting, including the United States, decided to impose a national health hazard, and they attempted to quarantine the affected areas. Having information about this in advance of any rioting breaking out in this country, we decided, because of that, to proceed with caution when approaching the problem.
I'm sorry, Mr. Charles, I'm unsure exactly what it is you're saying. Are you trying to say to me that we're dealing with a breakdown of law and order, or is this in fact a pandemic?
We're not sure at the moment.
Okay, well, I think we'll have to end it there. Thank you for your time. I'm told we're now going live to our military correspondent.
I'm just outside the town of Sandy in Bedfordshire. Sandy has a population of about 12,000 people. About 4 hours ago, the army moved into the town, including the troop I'm currently attached to, in order to aid the police in this evacuation.
Well, what's happening there now? Has the evacuation been successful?
Well, as you can see, the town's directly behind me. The military have left the town and withdrawn to one of the outlying hills, so it appears as though the evacuation has been abandoned.
Well, do you know why? Are those gunshots we can hear in the background?
Yes, we've been hearing sporadic gunfire for the past 20 minutes, so it seems as though the pandemic has reached us here and the military are engaging those affected.
Victoria, do you think the military will be able to contain the situation?
Well, as I said earlier, the population here is 12,000. The military detachment assigned to the town was 50 or 60 soldiers, most of which we lost contact with at this stage, so it doesn't look good. We're now deep inside the buffer zone, which is a huge blow to the army's efforts to stop the spread of the virus.
What's happening now?
I think some of the soldiers have just withdrawn from the town. Let's see if we can go and have a closer look. I think they're down here. Just need to get closer.
Victoria, can you hear me?
On me! On me! No! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Well, it appears we've lost contact with our military correspondent. We'll try and pick that one up again later just to see how the evacuation is getting on. We apologise for any technical difficulties.
Episodes of screaming and bleeding of the eyes. We have breaking news. There have been reports of cannibalistic behavior among the infected. I repeat, infected individuals are displaying cannibalistic tendencies. The attacks on
and cannibalism have something to do with the brain of the newly infected subjects.
Buffer zones. Anyone infected with this virus will attack those uninfected on sight. I can only urge members of the public to stay in their homes and avoid contact with anyone you suspect carrying this virus. At this point, we do believe the only method of contraction is through direct contact with an infected individual. Many of those patients admitted to the hospitals or who have reported to evacuation centers have been carrying terrible injuries, the most common being bite marks and deep lacerations. So at this point, we believe the virus is spread through either the blood or saliva of the affected.
We seem to have lost it there. I'm sure you would have found that announcement as shocking and unbelievable as I did. Although events we have witnessed within the last few hours seem undeniable.
This is an emergency alert message. This is not a test. This warning is for the following area, states located on the east coast of the United States and surrounding areas. A viral outbreak has occurred. It is highly contagious and lethal. Please stay in your homes and do not panic. If you come into contact with a sick individual, please call the Centers for Disease Control immediately and quarantine individuals who present symptoms. Symptoms include but are not limited to seizures, convulsing, cold skin, sweating, anger, violent outbursts, extreme hunger and bleeding from the eyes, nose, mouth and ears. This is not a test.
We are getting reports from all over the country that the recently deceased are rising up. These undead are attacking anything living, which is rapidly swelling their numbers. Advice from the police is to stay inside, lock all doors and windows, call 999 and stay as quiet as possible. If caught out in the open, run. Do not walk because they are much faster than they first appear. Do not confront them because any bite or open wound
Operator of the 6 zone. We're under attack. I repeat, we're under attack. This is the moment that we need some help. We knew this was going to happen. Now we're ready more than ever to people, and that moment will define us forever. If anyone can hear us, please, we need you. Our hearts go out to the brave ones taking a stand.
It doesn't seem like they can hear us. Maybe they're not listening at all. If we want to get to the source of that transmission, we'll have to go beyond our closest neighborhood.